What if I told you that Cinderella's castle was a real place? And no, I'm not talking about Disney World. She lost her glass slipper on the steps of a mansion in Connecticut. Hi everyone, Ken here. Welcome to this house. In 1914, the silent film Cinderella took the world by storm. In the film, you can see carriages pulling up a long driveway between towering wrought iron gates, then scenes play out with her and the prince taking a romantic walk along a seaside gazebo. This was not a Hollywood set. It was the E.C. Benedict estate in Greenwich, Connecticut. Benedict, who was born into humble means, started working as a bank teller at the age of 15. He quickly rose through the ranks, saving every penny he earned to open his own stock brokerage on Wall Street. As the decades went by, he made the modern-day equivalent of hundreds of millions of dollars. All the while, he became incredibly popular in the world of private clubs, even becoming friends with President Grover Cleveland. In fact, the two were so close that when the president needed a secret surgery to remove a cancerous growth from his jaw, Benedict arranged for the best surgeons in the world to board his yacht, the Oneida, to perform the operation out on the water. By the early 1890s, he decided to splurge and build his dream house, a place where he could dock his yacht and run his yacht club. He hired the famed architecture firm of Carrere and Hastings to design a palatial mansion perched along the rocky cliffs of Indian Harbor. The architects planned a grand Beaux-Arts-style mansion to be complete with formal gardens and scenic points of interest. When it was finished, each of the mansion's 3 stories contained double-height ceilings, giving it larger-than-life proportions. It was finished out with a creamy stucco which had been mixed with marble dust so that it would sparkle almost magically at sunset. To give us a better idea of just how large this mansion really was, we can look first at the Tempietto from the Parterre Gardens. Then we can see that the almost 6-foot-tall Benedict does not even stand at half the marble column's height. Along the seashore, terraced pergolas concealed a walking path connecting to an additional dwelling unit. Benedict had included a private manse for his secretary, Frank Hastings, to live on the property with him. Let's begin winding our way back towards the main entrance, making our way through the court's wrought iron gates. Approaching the house, we become overwhelmed by the nearly 60-foot-tall palace towering above us. Here we find Mary Pickford, the actress who played Cinderella, giving us a true sense of the blown-out scale. While there are very few surviving photos of the interior, what we are about to see is truly remarkable. First we venture into the drawing room, finished out with gilded wall panels and heavy velvet curtains concealing views of water on 3 sides. This space would be used as a ballroom, with all the furniture cleared out to make way for 500 guests to dance throughout the night. The dining room stretched 50 feet long by 40 feet wide, playing host to huge banquets where we can imagine men and women dressed in only the most stylish Victorian-era suits and ball gowns. Though for more intimate occasions, private conversations could be held in the library against the backdrop of glass-paned bookcases. The E.C. Benedict estate continued on with many more lavish rooms which were never photographed. Benedict enjoyed entertaining from his Greenwich palace for 25 years, inviting film producers to shoot movies on the grounds which were extensively documented. Long after his passing, in 1938, the house changed hands to new owners. Whether it was from the hurricane that year, or due to a personal design choice, the 3rd floor was removed in its entirety. As the decades continued rolling in, the house underwent several more reductions, losing entire wings and seeing its once perfectly manicured gardens subdivided for new construction. The interior of the remaining house was further renovated several times, and just like its exterior, while it technically is still standing, the E.C. Benedict estate is but a mere shadow of what it once was. Which part of the mansion was your favorite? Let me know down below in the comments section, and while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.